Good evening and welcome to the Times of India. I am Sanjeev Singh. Today we are discussing the hot topic that's been doing the rounds ever since yesterday in the afternoon when celebrating BJP workers brought down a statue of Lenin in southern Tripura's town of Belonia. Were they justified in bringing it down, or did their celebrations seem to have been a bit too excessive in bringing down a statue which had been put up there by the corporation? To discuss more about this, I've got with me Sanjeev Shankaran of the Times of India, who covers political economy. Sanjeev, before we start our discussion, I think we should show our viewers exactly what happened, and we'll take the discussion on from there. So these are the pictures from ANI. Let's see what happened at ground zero. So, Sanjeev, if you can, yeah. So, Sanjeev, your first thoughts on this?
It was not justified because, as things stand, Tripura is in the midst of a change. There will be a new government that will be sworn in shortly.
Yeah.
This statue is in a public square. It's public property. So, it's for the new government to decide what it wants to do or doesn't want to do, change the names, remove statues. That's their prerogative. But in the interim, if people, whether they belong to a political party or otherwise, break public property, then the same law applies to them as it would apply to anyone who wants to burn a public transport bus. Destruction of public property requires prosecution.
This was the initial reaction of BJP leaders, and this is the official handle of the CPM, where they've quoted Ram Madhav, a key player for the BJP, especially in these elections. And also following that, I'm not sure if people can see that. We tried to find this tweet on Ram Madhav's timeline, but we couldn't find it today. Perhaps it could have been taken down, but this is what his initial reaction was. And it wasn't just him.
This is a surprising tweet because Mr. Roy is the governor of the state. Now, he's certainly right when he says what one democratically elected government can do, another can undo. But the problem is Tripura does not have a government by the party which won the election, which is BJP and its ally. And once they're in power, presumably they can choose to do what they want. What happened was perpetrated by people who are not part of the democratically elected government. So it was destruction. The issue is simple. It was just destruction of public property. What Lenin did or Lenin didn't do, is simply not relevant to this issue.
Okay. We're getting some comments from people, and if you have just joined in the conversation, do let us know what you think about this incident, whether you think it was justified or the celebrations went too far ahead. Sumant Reddy, Juliana says, sorry. Shubhajit says, ekdam right. Samar Datta says, good job. Vivekanand says, justified even elimination of whole communism from India because they're proven traitors. Okay. Hitesh Kumar, not justified at all, no matter what. And John says, yes. Sanjeev, I'd like to take Vivek's comment. He says, because they're proven traitors.
I really don't know what he means by that. For us, CPM is a registered political party, like more than 100 other political parties. They participate in elections. If they lose, they leave the government, as is the case in Tripura. But I have no idea what he means by proven traitors. But the issue is that this is public property.
Yeah.
Somebody came and destroyed public property, and the law should take its course. And the people who destroy public property need to be prosecuted.
We'll give you some more details. As per the CPM, this statue was made of fiberglass, almost 11.5 feet tall. It was made at the cost of rupees 3 lakhs and was installed in 2013 by the government. Also, the SP has said that they have released the driver of the JCB that brought it down, and because it's a non-bailable offense. So really, I mean, as far as law and order is concerned, they only managed to catch the person who was driving the JCB, and he has also been let off because it was a non-bailable offense.
I think this issue that we're saying, that this is a law and order issue, is something that the Union Home Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, agrees with, because we've seen reports that he has asked the DGP of Tripura to make sure that law and order doesn't deteriorate in this interim period when there's a transition. So clearly, the Union Home Minister thinks that this is not this is a law and order situation. If he's going to ask the DGP to make sure that things are okay.
Some more comments coming in. Vijay Pradhan says very good. Vidya Rishi, there was no need to do that. Sheer vandalism. Vinod Kumar Khurana says, is it justified to approve impulsive act of mob in civil society? Vinod Joshi, yes, very nice. Samarjit Singh, good. Benny Thomas, this is what you get when BJP comes to power. We won't let that happen in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Talking about Tamil Nadu, I'd just like to go to the next slide. This is being put out by Mr. Surya, who is a prominent member of the BJP's youth wing. And this is what he had to say when the news of the statue came. BJP successfully completed the fall of Lenin in Tripura. Can't wait for the fall of E.V. Ramaswamy statues in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah, E.V. Ramaswamy is also popularly known as Periyar, who is one of the, in many ways is the leading light of the Dravidian movement, which has held power there for 51 years now.
Okay.
If BJP ever wins there and then, they have a government, it will be their right to change statues if they so desire. But as a general point, here is a youth leader of India's largest political party, and it's not good if he's going to encourage breakdown of public order and vandalism of this nature.
So, this is what we have, and a lot of people have been talking about the past and where such things have happened. We'd just like to go through the iconic pictures of 2011, was it?
No, I think this is 3. When Saddam Hussein...
So this is 2003. These are pictures from AP archive that we're showing you. We will only show you about 5 to 6 seconds of footage, which is as per the law. We won't be able to show you more. So, oops. Let's just go ahead. If we can somehow play it for you. 33, I think it was it. Yeah. Yeah, so those are pictures from Iraq. So there is a sort of people are drawing that connection.
I think that's a very poor comparison and a very disturbing comparison because remember, this happened after the US invaded Iraq and we're essentially an occupying army. I hope we don't have to go through anything like that. Now, there was a full-fledged regime change which was brought about by a foreign military, and I really don't think that we should be making comparisons with Iraq because that's we're a sovereign country.
The chalk and cheese. Like,
we're a sovereign country.
Some more comments. Shovan Das, no, not justified at all. It's vandalism and a shameful act. Meenakshi Hajela says, how many of us really believe in this ideology anyways? Having said that, just distorting doesn't make any point. Ashutosh Pandey, Amar Jawan Jyoti was also demolished. Did you do a live program on that?
I'm not sure when Amar Jawan Jyoti.
Yeah, I know. I think Ashutosh, you need to get your facts correct. Dwarika Rai says, fully justified. He was a killer. Oh, that's Lenin. Samarjit Singh, even the reporters who support those leftists, they're home and they should be demolished. No tolerance for anti-nationals and communists. There seems to be some sort of weird connection between, first they were proven traitors, now they're anti-nationals and there should be no tolerance for communists. Ashish Kumar Ahuja has a question for you, Sanjeev. By the way, who is Lenin? जिसको जानते नहीं उसका स्टैचू तोड़ दिया तो अच्छा किया.
I mean, my assumption is that the previous government of Tripura would have known who Lenin is because they put it up. Uh, you know,
Okay.
for the communist movement, Lenin is an important figure.
But I know his full name, but I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov.
I only can pronounce Vladimir and Lenin. I can't
Okay.
pronounce the middle name.
Okay, we'll go ahead. Pranab Pal says 100% justified. Peter Donik makes the same point. Why do we need Lenin's statue in India? Vinod Ali, no, never. That's the difference between IS and we Indians. Abhishek Singh, it is totally justified. John B. Pandey has a very pertinent question. Where was the police at that time? Madhurima Pratim justified. So we're getting a lot of mixed comments. Let's move on and see what other things are happening. So this is what the CPM put out, that this is the sort of violence that one has witnessed after the election, and almost they mentioned almost 50 to 60 incidents that have taken place after they lost power, and this is what BJP says to counter it, saying that left-wing extremism in India between 2011 and 16 has seen so many deaths. So they are saying that on the one hand, one statue is being demolished and there's so much hue and cry, but so many deaths have taken place due to left-wing extremism, and yet no one talks about
Again,
it.
I think these are irrelevant comparisons, like the Iraq and India comparisons. Left-wing extremism, it's perpetrated by people who do not believe in democracy, who are outside our existing political system.
Yeah.
They're fighting to overthrow it. All political parties, CPM included, oppose them. Right now, CPM is a political party that believes in democracy, but believes in communism as an ideology. Now, the constitution does not prohibit that.
Yeah.
So I think these are very irrelevant comparisons.
Okay.
I mean, and all governments have said that this is one of India's biggest internal security threats, and we do combat it. And every time people die, there are also private citizens who are making contribution to the surviving family of Central Reserve Police Force Jawans who die.
Yeah, I think people need to make that sort of differentiation between the political parties, which are registered parties under the Election Commission, who follow certain guidelines and then contest elections, and left-wing extremism. There is a difference between the two, and that we should be careful about that. Just we'll take some more comments before you go. Manish Rao says, "Are we becoming Syria, demolishing statue because he was not Indian?" Manish Rao says, "So mindset of BJP when they come to power, first thing they do is attack history and wipe it off." Pranoy Kant Bhattacharjee, after 25 years, it's right. Sanjeev Pillai, what is Lenin's contribution to India? Soumyadeep Kole says yes, justified. Manish Rao, it's again. And Sanjeev Chadda says Talibanization of India. Manish Rao, shameful act. Anupama says it is an unusual act. So, mixed comments coming. Sanjeev, just final words. Is it actually like a BJP wave? I know that they won more seats and their record in the past 2 years in Tripura from being nothing to 35 seats is a lot, but is the left totally wiped out of the state?
Not if you see the vote share percentage. CPM still remains one of the dominant parties of Tripura. 42, I mean, they've certainly lost some amount of vote share, but if a party is able to get almost 43% of the vote share, it remains within striking distance of getting power. I think our bigger problem should be the fact that if two parties with more or less equal support in the state, and they have a history of being very violent in Kerala, both of them. I mean, they particularly seem to dislike each other, and at the ground level, it leads to a lot of violence. I think that should be the bigger concern, that you don't want political workers to be victims of violence.
Okay, so there you have it. Basically, that it's not as if the left has been totally wiped out from Tripura. It's just that the vote share of BJP plus IPFT seem to have got together. It's approximately 7% more, and that is why we see this swing towards the BJP and IPFT. But CPM still retains almost 42.7% of the vote share. So thank you so much for joining us. These kind of acts, of course, we need to be careful while celebrating, and the messaging, BJP will have to work on the messaging and how they're defending this act. So on the whole, a great win by BJP in Tripura, but acts like these are the ones that take sheen away from these great victories. Thank you so much for watching the Times of India, but do stay tuned in for live updates.